Welcome to the Dice Gods, my name is Hydra, and today we're going to deliver on a request you guys have made repeatedly for over a year since we did our review of the Star Wars Legion Separatist Invasion Force sometime in 2022. Today we're going to do a review of the 501st Battle Force and a discussion about whether this is something a new player should buy. Let's start with what's in the box. The 501st Battle Force is an army in a box for the Republic faction in Star Wars Legion, representing a famous legion from the Grand Army of the Republic, or GAR, which fought during the Clone Wars. GAR armies are a mix of Jedis, clones, and some pretty potent vehicles. This box comes with Anakin Skywalker as your commanding unit, 2 Phase 2 clone troopers in the core slot. Special forces come in the form of 3 ARC Trooper squads and an AT-RT in support. It's worth noting that the ARC Troopers are actually a squad of ARC Troopers and an ARC Trooper strike team, i.e. a sniper team. So it's really 6 squads in that group of 3, but you see what I mean. The Phase 2 also come with an optional extra Phase 2 and a Phase 2 with a Z6. If you choose to play the 501st Battle Force, which is a unique battle force within Star Wars Legion, then you have a different set of composition options than you would with a full GAR army. But if you stick within those composition limitations, you will open up some unique command cards. But we'll come back to those in a minute. If you put all of the units in the box together, including all the minis and no upgrades beyond some basic ones, you come to 788 points with 10 activations. Not a bad number of activations, especially as GAR often struggle to get up that high due to the relative costs of their units within the faction. But is the list any good? It's not awful. The problem is that there are better options within the GAR roster than what's in the box. Let's start with core units. Sticking purely to GAR units, so ignoring mercs of the Shadow Collective, the Phase 2s are competing against Phase 1 clones. Now, Phase 2s get 2 courage, whilst Phase 1s get 1. So, Phase 2s can take a few more hits before it impacts their performance and activations. They also get reliable 1s, so gain a surge token at the start of each activation phase. Great! But they're also 8 points more expensive than Phase 1s, or 15% more. And it's not just the points. Phase 1s also get a whole raft of different upgrade weapons and add-ons, letting you refine their skills within a squad to do a more specific role in your force. So, the Phase 2s can take a Z6 or a Mortar Trooper upgrade. By comparison, the Phase 1s can take a Z6, RPS 6, a DP23 or a DC15. Even if you don't know what those are, you can see my point. Phase 1s are just more flexible than the Phase 2s and cheaper. But why do we care about core units? Well, both Phase 1s and Phase 2s get the fire support skill. This lets a unit with that skill and a face-up order token add their shooting to the shooting of an activating unit. The unit which does the fire support then adds their dice to the attacking pool of the unit which they're supporting and turns over their order token. Essentially, you can get 2 units firing at one target when you absolutely need to delete it. It's pretty nasty and pretty potent. Similar to the Phase 1 versus Phase 2 debate, the AT-RT is a great support unit, but given the choice, I would take Bark Speeders. The Bark is cheaper, faster, as it has a compulsory, i.e. free move, and has similar options to customize weapons to add anti-armor or anti-infantry options. Yes, the AT-RT can climb and has armor, scout, and 1 more wound, but the Bark offers for me more flexibility and choice. It is a more responsive option in the heat of battle. Now let's look at those ARC Troopers, because they are great and a strike team is always welcome. But 3 of each? I get that's fluffy, but it feels a bit much. Yes, you can stick jump packs on them and some interesting characters and gear, but they're not so amazing that I'd want to run 3 of each in my list. And Anakin is great and has a nice cocktail of Jedi abilities and his own command cards to add to the mix, so there's that. But given the choice, I'm not sure I'd take him. Coming in at 155 points is a big chunk of your army. You could take Captain Rex instead, get some stronger synergy with the arcs, and save yourself 60 points to get another squad of Phase 2s. The 501st also has its own Battle Force rules, available from the Asmodee website, link below, which add flavour and change the composition from that of a normal army. So, if you stick within the composition limitations of the 501st Battle Force, you gain a special rule that says that when you choose a non-strike team of ARC Troopers, you can take an ARC Troopers strike team by paying the points as usual. Why is this important? Well, ARC Troopers are the only Special Forces option in this Battle Force. You can only take a strike team by using this rule. So if you don't want to take ARCs, but you do want to take a strike team, you can't. So as long as you take all the ARC Troopers in the box, away you go using all the minis in the box and having sniper teams for days. In fact, if you want, you can buy another ARC Troopers box and run then 4 ARC Trooper teams and 4 ARC Strike teams. The ARC fun just never stops. But I'm not sure why you'd want to. The 501st also limits what you can and can't take in the Force, as I mentioned. As you see, it really is quite limited. In fact, those juicy cheap Phase 1s just aren't an option for the 501st. It's ARCs and Phase 2s all the way down. And you also don't have any Specialist Operatives, so no Padme or R2-D2. You'll also note that you can only take the LAT, LE, for heavy options. No infantry sport platform and no TX-130 Sabre class fighter tank. Now, this is great for your wallet, but not so much fun for your list building. The payoff? 3 unique command cards. So the first, Lead from the Front, is a 1-pip that's actually a 2-pip. With this, when a commander is issued an order with this card, that commander can give out an aim or dodge token to up to 3 units at range 1. The aim can be pretty nasty if you plan to use fire support with clone troopers. The dodge is also great, but to get the most of this, you need to keep your clones together and giving your commander an order and only him. Next we have a 2-pip, which is actually a 2-pip, which is refreshing. Tactical planning. This little fun machine lets you force your opponent to shuffle their face-up order tokens back into their pool if you attack that unit with a Special Forces or support choice. Nice if you need to stop your opponent having control of their forces for a turn, but not necessarily stellar. It's pretty situational. Last of all, Leaders of the 501st, 3 pips of fun. Once played, this stays in play. With it, any core or Special Forces units at range 1 to 2 of Anakin or Rex gain Indomitable. This means they roll red dice to roll off suppression rather than usual white. Of the 3, this probably has the most utility and will have the most impact on your game. For me, the cards are fine. The 2 and 3 pip cards are nice, but they don't wow me enough to want to take this Battle Force and limit myself with my Force selection, if I'm completely honest. Let's also talk about the annoying bit. As with the Separatist Invasion box, there are some bits missing. This time a pair of cards and the damage markers for the AT-RT are absent. You can find them for download and print at home on the Asmodee website, link in the description. But still annoying. So what do I think of this set overall? It's got a lot of flavour, but out of the box it's going to struggle against heavy armour. Your only sources of Pierce in the Battle Force are Anakin and the AT-RT, so units like the AAT in the Separatist Battle Force or the AT-ST in the Empire Battle Force are going to potentially be a challenge to take down. Force also moves you away from the GAR gimmick of fire support, the ability which Phase 1s and 2s get. That said, with all the arcs kitted out with jump packs, you're going to have a mobile force which can take the fight to the enemy and put some pain on non-armoured units. I feel like this is a fluffy force, one for the fans of the TV shows and movies, but if you want to be competitive, it's just possible you could spend that $150 RRP on better things. Well, thanks for watching. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be mean. What would we get instead? I would start with a core set of the Clone Wars. Now, here I'm going to make a big assumption. I'm going to assume that you have a buddy who wants to play. With the box costing $120, if you can get them to buy the Separatist half, then you're going to spend $60 and get an Obi-Wan Commander, 2 squads of Phase 1 and a Bark Speeder. Now, if we load out Obi-Wan with Force Push, Force Barrier, Strict Orders and Tenacity, then stick a DC 15 on the Phase 1s with an RPS 6 gunner on the Bark, trust me, it's great, we're up to 429 points. Next, we add in another box of Phase 1s, a box of ARC Troopers, and because I'm a fan, another BARC Speeder. That gets us to a total of $160, so we're a little over. But if we kit out the Phase 1s the same as the others, same with the BARC, and make an ARC Trooper unit with jump packs plus an ARC Sniper team, then we're at 712 points against a standard 800-point game. Add in some upgrades on the BARCs, clones, and ARCs, and you'll easily get to 800 points, but you'll only have 8 activations. If you could afford another set of Phase 1s, you'll be over the $150, yes, but you'll be on 9 activations of fun. I think that would be a lot more flexible than the one that the 501st box gives you, and probably much more newbie friendly. It requires a lot less skill and leans more into the flavour of how GAR normally operate, I think. Let me know what you think of that build in the comments below. Let me know what you think of the 501st box as well. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this review and we'd welcome your thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, please help us out with a like, comment and a subscribe if you've not already. Thanks as ever to our Patreons, and if you want to see the Dice Gods continue to grow and if you want more from us, sign up there to get some exclusives. Thanks again and we will see you soon.